Welcome to part number 7 of my Imperator Rome playthrough as Rome. We just finished conquering Cyrenaica. The loyalty is ticking downward slightly, but that should resolve. I just built quite a few grand theaters here, and they are already overwhelmingly Hellenic, generally speaking. So that leaves us wondering what to do. I'm going to evacuate this area perhaps and go back to Terratania. There's quite a bit of food there and a high supply limit. I'm building a fort here to protect against the barbarians. I suppose we can come and try to relieve the situation. At some point the fort will hold the barbarians in place. That may or may not come from here. And then we can either summon a levy or something, hire some mercs, or maybe bring a legion down or something in some way. We can also just leave them be to ravage the civilization value. There's a mission that's available, I note here. Tame the Brutians. And let's see, Thurai. I just moved a bunch of pops into a Thurai. Essentially maxed it out. And we'll convert or assimilate quite a bit of them as well. So there's that. We have quite a few, I believe, Romans there now, surely. At least more than there were. We'll move a Brutian out and make it predominantly Roman. So that should make it Roman. 17 Roman pops and 16 Brutians. Okay, so I think there's another one here we can get 2 free provincial improvements and pick one of 4 specializations. Okay, let's see what that is. These manpower we generally have enough. The city building slots, I suppose, is nice, but I'm going with the commerce value and slaves needed for surplus. We could take this, but it'll fade over time. The people, primary culture is always happy enough anyway. So now we can do one of these 2, and I believe close this mission out. Unfortunately for me, integration speed, we'll do that. So that will finish in sometime. As we have a relatively low aggressive expansion, I figured out now is a good time to deal with the border gore. There's some here, so we could close out this Cisalpine Gaul region while the closing is good. Oftentimes they can form affiliations, but these 3 I think here are actionable, fairly small activity, and we can move some more of these pops out and get the assimilation and they're already Hellenic going. So any cities in the area? There's one here. Is it in Cisalpine Gaul? It's not, though. Let's declare this war immediately. And we'll get that rolling along here. Our mission just hit, and we'll have a bit of happiness from integrated cultures and unintegrated 12%, I say. Well, I think we can now close that mission tree out. We're done with it. Let's see. Greece, Illyria, matter of radio. And nothing about Carthage or Cisalpine Gaul. I was hoping. I don't recall exactly, as it's been a while, but there's a mission up here where you can, I think it gives you free cities or something if you control the entirety of the area. I don't recall exactly. But the Carthage one is not here. I suppose we could grow Illyria. I don't want to go up into Raetia here. So Illyria, it's a large area. We could take over Greece. That's... Or maybe we could just let it sit for a while and not worry. I just checked the wiki regarding these missions, and it seems as though you can abort them. I never used to use them when I played the game regularly because they generally So what will happen? We can't do it again, and there's nothing. There's no negative there, so there it is. This is Stalpine Gaul. So we can choose that one. And let's do that exactly, because we are essentially already there. So we've done it, and we can have that done by the 18th of May. The mission is already starting to happen here. The problem is that most of the territories in the area under discussion here are already Roman. Ariminum, and this is Ariminum. So we'll go cheap for a no cost. The other one was 150, but again, most of the territories here are Roman. We just hit another advance for martial advances, so we can take that, and get a positive tick here going, just in case we end up at war with Carthage or something. Did we need to do that right now? Probably not, because again, we're trying to stick with the Hellenic. But you never know. You never know. There's a lot of wrong culture, wrong religion and such about, and if we form a client state, I'd like it to have the 0.5 tick from that formulatic worship, so that if we get send Roman slaves and Romanize the area we release as a client state, it will have that automatic tick because it will have our technology. I took this over. I don't think there are any troops remaining here. At least I thought I took it over. Occupied by Rome, yeah. I'm going to send this legion up to this area to secure it. The siege is won. We should, let's see, sue for peace. One aggressive expansion. I'll do it. We have more legions, or force count becoming available here. So we have 2 legions, both of which are exactly the same. We may as well grab another heavy infantry here. And another heavy infantry there. Alright, I'm going to declare war here and then pivot back this unit to this front. And we'll take these 3 out as well. But first, this border corps has got to go. We've done it. It looks as though, let's see here, we have choices available for our missions. Roman Colonia, I'll take it. We need that. We can't do that. We can do that. Let's do this. Bononia. 10 pops, 3 pops, 3 pops, 10 pops it is. So that area should be resoundingly Roman now. And it's ticking up finally. Right, the next mission, we're not going to befriend any tribes. We're not going to make them feudatories. But this one here, every province has to be owned by us in this area. We're going to conquer here, but we don't have any claims directly on this tribe. We can trigger them by declaring on Massilia, which we have a claim on, but there's no rush. I'll just file the claim and declare directly after we finish this right there. We've occupied that, and we should be able to make peace. Alright, I just checked this area in greater detail, and it looks as though if we declare war, say here, we'll be able to drag these guys in as well and complete another mission task. So we should be able to take the entire region, and if we just war with this nation here by triggering Massilia, we can take this territory and leave this be here. And then at some point we can release the city of Antipolis as a client state, because it'll be our singular holding here. and then it can conquer further into this area and relieve us of any worries about having to declare multiple claims or high aggressive expansion, etc. et al. It will take care of all of that within its borders, and if any of these coastal areas rebel, say that we conquer down here, we'll be able to easily access it to quell said rebellion with our fleet or legions or whatnot. So that's the plan, and I'm going to summon or recruit another couple of legions here. I believe are available. I'm going to grab a couple of more supply trains for Legion number 1, or a supply train for Legion 1 and a supply train for Legion 2. As we seem to be hell-bent on conquering these low civilization value, mountainous, low supply limit territories here and here, up in here as well. There's a lot of madness that seems to be going on over here with like really major powers. With lots of allies that could be belligerent and make for a complete waste of time. At some point we're going to pivot up here and grab the Macedonian revolt, but now he's allied with Macedon as well. Cannot, oh okay, well, that's strange. Anyway, let's first things first. I'm going to recruit a levy up in Cisalpine Gaul here, and then move him up to back up our legions should anyone break through the lines, which I think is probable. Well, there's no time like the present. Let's see what happens. There, there, and there. They had a breakout up here, the levy, and part of this Legio Italia here sent them packing back in here somewhere. The siege just fell. I sent, I think, 4 siege engineers. Anyway, whatever the case, we're going to peace out. And take, what is that? 12 aggressive expansion. Boom. Off they go. And we'll regroup these siege engineers back with their proper legion. And I think we can trigger into Milia by attacking Massilia. So let's get in position. It looks to be a city here. I'm going to immediately work on assimilating, and there's a few Hellenics there already. Let's check the loyalty. 0.24. That would be this area here. So maybe we can destroy something in some way. This aqueduct. Maybe we'll do away with this library and build a grand temple as well. Alright, so I took a look here and the loyalty, and as you might expect, it's not pretty, at least at present. So I believe we have some cities here that are not overly loyal but can be made so if we were to we have a temple there, or a theater. We don't have a theater there. We could use one perhaps to instill some loyalty, as well as convert or assimilate these pops we're about to move there. It'll be cheap. And is it necessary? Let's see, the region here, it's in Cisalpine Gaul, so we cannot place the cultural assimilation policy and have it remain in play for the rest of the game, so that's what we'll do. We'll build that. Let's see here, essentially mostly Hellenic, and we have that auto tick now, so I'm going to move these pops out of these troubled areas. There probably should be more than a few of them, into these cities, and maybe down further here. And then we'll attack here. I was looking over the map, and it looks as though Massilia is a little larger than I had originally looked at just with a glancing view. I filed a claim here. There are a couple of cities, 3 cities actually, that are available. I think if we maybe put grand theaters and temples in all 3 of those cities, we might be able to hold the area even though it's wrong culture. And if we placed a very loyal governor with reasonable policies, we could perhaps hold it. If we were to take Massilia completely out, like hold this ourselves, and then just take this and release it as a client state, we could then take like this area. I think if we trigger Bocantia, it'll Centuronia, Helvia, and Sicania, and then we could use the client state to annex all of that for no aggressive expansion. Of course, we'd want to Romanize this before doing that for culture and religion, so we'd want to manually move the pops up to it, and then it would sit there and stew, assimilating and converting, and maybe taking more and such. Who knows what can be triggered up in here by a cascade of events. Maybe, well, who knows? You can trigger them by maybe Lepontia somehow gets affiliated with Avernia, and you attack Lepontia, and you can then annex Avernia with your client state as a, yeah. None of that is worthwhile planning right now, because who knows if any of it is actionable. So after that, we can pivot back over here. There are some opportunities available, like Lycia can be triggered by attacking Rhodes. You could attack a lot of these guys without getting into it with any of the majors. Again, I don't want to deal with Bactria, Compagine, Bambis, Tylos, and whoever that is exactly, as well as the Seleucid revolt. They'll probably be quite belligerent. And there are better targets that can be sniped quickly and then ended quickly, the war, that is. The Macedonian Civil War just ended, which is theoretically good news for us. We could probably deal with all of it simultaneously here. We have this plan in motion, and I want to be able to secure this last bit of territory here so as to complete our mission tree, and that's what we're going to do. Let's declare the war immediately on Massilia. We have a claim in motion, right? We do. It's not particularly close, but it's close enough. The war should go on for some time. On we go. We caught this guy out. It's not a question of if we win. It's just timing. Should we be doing this as opposed to taking Macedon? I don't know. You have to move all the way over there as well. So again, we're here. The inevitable has happened. Our governor has either been replaced by being elected to office. Let's see. I don't think this was he. So, unfortunately, it must have been some random pop-up where he died of some horrific disease or some such, or dysentery or whatnot. Whatever the case is, we spent all of that PI to change these to assimilation, and now it's for naught. So I'll not do it again. I'm going to just place a random governor and let the chips fall where they may. That did not seem to take very long at all. It was he or she was quite young, healthy. As I said earlier, I didn't want to do the same thing here, as it's the kiss of death, essentially. So I'll leave those policies, as they were, and I'm pretty sure she lives to a ripe old age. Let's carry on. Our omen is up. I'm going to go with aggressive expansion this time around. We Proceeding over here. Here is going well. There's nothing really to comment on. It's as expected. This siege just dropped. This siege dropped as well. We should be able to piece out equitably. We're probably going to take quite a bit of aggressive expansion. He's not willing to do it. I see. That's what I mean by engaging with the Seleucids for the Temple of Artemis. Like even this guy, he's mostly... Massilia has been mostly defeated, but... A month's at war. The war goal is... I think once it occupies maybe, or we deal with this straggler army, he should become compliant, but this goes to demonstrate the belligerence that can be had, and these wars can go on and on. Alright, it would seem as though they're agreeable presently, so against better judgment, all that we can do is give the territory that we didn't have back, release it as a client state, or have it revolt or whatnot. It just cost us a bit of aggressive expansion. But what we do have is the ability to release this territory as a client state. I probably should not have taken this, but we may have gotten a bit more aggressive expansion than we wanted, or maybe we'll not do the client state thing and we'll just take the land ourselves for a thick Mare Nostrum, I believe, is that. So what do we do now? I don't know. We have quite a bit of money, I would imagine. We probably need to figure out what's loyal and what's not. That's not. We have a mission that is actionable, so we'll be able to fortify a territory. Northern lands, so let's do it. 5 pops, 11 pops, 8 pops, 3 pops. Where is this? Trans something or other. Pise or Portus. Alright, it looks like it's actionable here, so we may as well go with the 11 pops. Boom. So what do we have now? These guys should almost directly translate into actionable legions. But they're not there as yet. Maybe it hasn't recognized it yet, I don't know. Okay, so we probably have a new... We can do that. There are various choices. I suppose I'm going to go with this area right here. I don't really want the fortress, but the supply limit doesn't sound like a bad idea. We have another mission here we've already completed. We're going to be able to get another Colonia, I believe. And we have a fat city there already, Verona. It's not 2 pops, 3 pops. Let's see. Oh, this area with... Okay, so... Okay, so it would seem as though there's not really much potential in any of it. 3 pops. The only city in the area would have been Verona, but it's not on this list, so we'll just go with however many pops. We'll go there. We have this as well. So let's see, 11 pops, 3 pops, 2 pops, 11 pops it is. That must be this city here. It is. It's not though. Well, we'll take the 11 irrespective of where it is. Let's see here. Let's do that as well. Okay, so I need to figure out a governor over here now. I'm going to sort by loyalty here, go for perhaps aged, even if they are a great family head. These areas are going to have such a low power base, they probably won't give me really much trouble. They're not a great family head presently, but they could inherit the position somehow, I suppose. Let's see, no corruption, 100% loyal, looks good, looks good. Okay, so with the governor, we have a considerable uptick on the loyalty, 0.20 here and 0.16 there, which is going to offset a considerable number of the Malai. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't convert the areas to Roman. The question is, are we going to release this as a client state or keep it ourselves? In which case, any and all investments here will probably be less than adequately. We won't get a proper return on them. Unless our client state can breed proper Romans, we could build a theater there. Let me think on that. Yeah, so I think we are going to release this as a client state. It'll have Antipolis and this area, and then we can, as long as we're in the area, we can immediately pivot and conquer Baconia and company there, as described earlier. I was gonna go back here for the Macedonian revolt, but Macedon seems to have consolidated and ended its civil war. It also has isolated its last province here, as these sort of things can happen in the midst of Thrace. So if I were to declare on Macedon, I wouldn't be able to get here because I wouldn't have access from Thrace because they're that way. And to make matters worse, he took out the Antigonids and has inherited the entirety of the vassal horde, which I didn't attack the Antigonids because of. So Macedon is now in Greece as well, so this is becoming a problem. I'm not sure exactly what to do about it, but engaging a major is time consuming. You can spend, I don't know, 10 years on it or something, like many more years. Again, the game started, what was it be, 47 years ago when we were here, and we just been sniping small powers in out with lots of claims, but this can take quite a bit of time. So maybe we'll snipe these guys here or something after we finish with our client state activities here. So more to the point, I need to evacuate as many non-Roman pops from this city as possible. I need to move the capital there, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. So we have access to this land. We don't have access there. We couldn't forcibly move Roman slaves and make it a predominantly Roman culture area, which would make the client state Roman. But now we can. Because all we have to do is move a sufficient number of Roman slaves up here and make this Roman and Hellenic. And then these areas will assimilate and convert and such to Roman and Hellenes. So that's what I'll do. I'll be right back. I moved the pops. I seem to recall having had some issue with the client state not becoming a Roman Hellenic. I believe the month may have to tick over. Okay, so the month ticked. I'll give it another day there. See if it's still Roman. It is. Still Hellenic. It is. It's the capital right there. So if we release the Alps Maritime prominence here, there it is right there, as a client state, we should it should be listed as a Roman culture. Hellenic Roman. I just looked at the time. We are about a half an hour in. Essentially what we're going to do in the next episode is immediately declare war here. Our new client state, Antipolis, will join in, and it will be able to annex all the territories that we take, which should be this whole swath of land up through Sequania. And we'll take no aggressive expansion for it. There was a bug, I don't know whether it's still fixed, but you can transfer all the ownership of these territories to the client state, but then sometimes it ends up being taken by Rome. Like sometimes I could be in like the middle here and just take that territory without any adjacency or anything, and take a bunch of aggressive expansion as well. I don't know whether it's still in effect, but we'll sort it out if and when it does happen. These guys are fully supplied, so that's what we'll do. I hope to see you in the next episode.